Welcome back to Golf Extra. In pro golf, it only makes sense that the players themselves would be the stars. However, they're not the only people involved in the game. Among others, caddies are key members of tournament play and also make a surprising amount of money. In particular, there is one well-known caddy who makes more money than most PGA golfers. But who is that? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now let's get right into the high-earning caddy who makes more than many others on the tour. If you're a longtime golf fan, you probably know Ted Scott as the enduring partner of Bubba Watson. The two played together for 15 years and won a total of 12 events on the PGA Tour. Most notably, this included 2 Masters wins for Watson, spurred on by Scott's level-headed advice and knowledge of the course at Augusta National. However, the two decided to part ways in September 2021, leaving some doubt to the future of both Watson and Scott. In his statement, Watson said, "We recently came to the decision after some deep talks not only about golf but life. When we met, I don't think we ever imagined how much we would experience together. Teddy deserves more credit than anyone can imagine for our success on the golf course, but I am just as grateful for his friendship and the way he has helped me grow as a person." He added a message to Scott of, "Thank you for having my back for the last 15 years. It's been a blessing and privilege to have you by my side. I know you'll do great things, whether it's coaching, caddying, or regaining the World Foosball Champion title. I'm excited to see and support whatever comes next for you, my friend." That's some high praise from Watson, but it creates more questions than answers about Scott. Just who is Ted Scott? Well, as Watson mentioned, Scott won the World Foosball Championship in 1994. It's not exactly the Masters, but being the best in the world at anything is impressive. While Scott is a really good golfer in his own right, having a +4 handicap, he hasn't been able to crack the big time as a player. Instead, he has focused his talents on both golf instruction and caddying. Aside from his technical talents on the golf course as a player and a caddy, Scott's talents as a person and friend make him even more well-liked and effective in his chosen profession. Fellow caddy Paul Tesori detailed some of this personality that makes him such an incredible player. Ted has got an amazing ability to be perfect in the moment. If the moment calls for something lighthearted to be said or done, he's able to do it. He could be the life of the party, but he could also be serious and go deep with you too. He's one of the funniest human beings I've ever been around. Don't sleep on that last part. Anyone who has played a round of golf can tell you that a little bit of humor on the golf course can serve to both lighten the mood and relax the other players. So, considering all of the good things about Scott as a person and as a caddy, why did Bubba end his partnership with Scott? At the time, Bubba was dealing with a wrist injury, and as he tells it, he didn't know where the rest of his golf career would take him, saying sometime later, "I have no regrets, and I don't think he does either. Scott has made more money now without me. He needed 10 more years. So I called him and told him. I said, look, man, I'm 43 years old. I don't know what I'm going to do. My wrist is killing me. He needs 10 more years. And I gave him, I felt like a nice retirement package when we split up, but we split up mutually." As Watson mentioned, Scott has been pretty successful on his own, which has made him one of the highest money earners among pro caddies. While it might seem like he must have hitched his wagon to a shooting star, it turns out that Scott's influence was a key part of the success of the next player that he partnered with, Scottie Scheffler. As Tesori detailed about the introduction, Teddy and Scottie talked for quite a while before they went to work for him. Scottie's young and has had a bit of a habit of getting a little angry on the golf course, and maybe even a little angry toward his caddy. Ted, being a veteran, almost 50 years old, being out here for so long, he was able to say, "I want to come work for you, but you've got to promise me that you're going to work on these areas." And not only did Scottie say yes, but he's also absolutely done it. Scott himself talked a little bit about the decision-making process, but as it turns out, he wasn't the official decision-maker, even in his own household. "I had my kids pray about it. It took a week, and they said, 'Dad, we think you ought to do it.' I said, 'Well, we'll pray about it another week.' They said, 'We definitely think you should do it.' And that was the deciding factor. I didn't choose it." The partnership was immediately successful. Most notably, Scott helped Scheffler to a victory at the 2022 Masters, the third victory in the famed event that Scott played a role in. Scott was especially helpful to Scheffler down the stretch of the challenging tournament as the young golfer fought through emotional highs and lows to hold on to a 5-stroke lead. The Masters wasn't the only tournament that Scott helped Scheffler to win. In fact, during his 62 events on the PGA Tour before hiring Scott, Scheffler didn't win a single tournament. Although he still made a very impressive $8.67 million in those tournaments, his career and wallet really took off in the short time between hiring Scott and winning the 2022 Masters. In only 9 starts during that time, Scheffler won 4 times, accumulating over $9 million in the process. Considering that a typical caddy fee is 10% of the total tournament prize, Scott earned approximately $900,000 in only 9 events, putting him near the middle of the pack in terms of earners on the PGA Tour. Scheffler had a lot of praise for Scott as his caddy at the time of the Masters, including telling the crowd during the green jacket ceremony that he felt like he was blindly following Scott's lead and advice down the stretch, which obviously worked out well for him. Scheffler elaborated further by saying, "I can't say enough about him. You know, the qualities you look for in a person. Ted embodies pretty much all of them. He's humble, he's hardworking, he's honest. He's also a good time to be around. He's an amazing guy. To be able to have him on the bag is so special." From everything that has been said, it's apparent that Scott is worth every penny that he has earned as a caddy, but he has nothing but humility and praise in response. In one of the few interviews he has done about his caddying, he made a special point to praise the golfer that he partners with in Scheffler, commenting on the young golfer's it factor. Phew, man, if I knew that, I'd sell it. Like I said, I think he has an incredible family, and his wife has an incredible family, and he has an incredible wife. So the first thing is what happens after he leaves the course. You know, this guy is very loved at home. I think the beginning of it, knowing that golf is not first, and that gives you the comfort to go out and make mistakes and still perform. And then secondly, he's driven. You know, the guy wants to do well. He checks all the boxes. He practices hard after the round, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, working and always trying to get better. So he just wants to go out and play great golf. It's a recipe for winning. As a family man himself, it only makes sense that Scott would be complimentary of the foundation of Scheffler's success in his family. Based on everything we've talked about in this video, it seems that this is the true key to Scott's consistency and longevity as a caddy. He doesn't just help his golfers to win tournaments, but he also helps them to become better men. For that, he deserves every dollar coming his way. So, what do you think about Ted Scott? Do you think he'll help Scottie Scheffler to another Masters victory? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.